Hi, today is the 6th of Teves Tafshin Hey, and I pick up another shir in Shabbos at the very bottom of Nun Beis Am Aleph by the two dots. Says the Gemara. Umezen aleim v'toilum b'mkoman. That one may sprinkle on it and immerse while it's still in place. Says the Gemara, Lamemra, the b'nei kaboli tumaninu. These things are makal tumah. V'asna, we have a Mishnah, Tabas Adam Tumah. The ring of a person is tama. Tabas behema of a kalim v'shar kol hatabas taharos. But the ring of an animal and its vessels and all other rings are tahar. Amar of Yitzhak Nafcha. Says of Yitzhak Nafcha. Baboyan minoi adam linoi behema. That our Mishnah is talking about a person's ring that became tameh and then was set aside for an animal. Rav Yosef Amar, Hoyel the Adam Moshek Behem Es Behema Milo Tanya, that since the person is taking the animal, don't we have a brisa that Makel Shabehema Shamateches Mekabel Tuma, that the stick of an animal that is metal is Mekabel Tuma. Matam, what's the reason? Hoyel the Adam Roide Behem Hachinami Hoyel the Adam Moshek Behem. This is because the person hits the animal with it to make it go, and therefore the rod is for the person. So likewise, since a person uses this shear to pull the animal, so it's for the person, therefore it's tameh. Says the Mishnah later, v'toyevlim ben koimon, and you can immerse while it's still in place. Va'ika chatzitza, but there's a chatzitza, there's a separation. Amrav Ami, b'sharitchem. So Rav Ami answers back that since it was beaten, it's loose. Lema Rav Ami Rav Yosef Sfirale. Say that Rav Ami holds like Rav Yosef. The Ikar Rav Yitzhak Nafcha Amar Bevoyan Menoi Adam Lenoi Behema. That you took it and made it from something for a person, something for an animal. Kevan Deretichen Avid Behu Maisa Beparkal Tuma Minaiho. Since you did an action, so it flew away the tumah from it. The Sna, we have a Mishnah, Kol HaKelim Yordan Liyado, so Yordan Lidei Tumasam B'makshava. All vessels become tumah with your thoughts. The Ein Oilen Metumasam Ella B'shinoi Maisa. And they don't come out of their tumah except with an actual Maisa. Several like Rav Yehuda, we hold like Rav Yehuda, the Amar Maisa Latakin Lav Maisahu. That an action to matakin is not a maisa. The Tanya Rav Yehuda Amar Omer Lo Amar Shinoi Maisa Latakin El Kalkal. That the Shinoi Maisa can't be to fix up, it has to be to destroy. B'masnisa tan b'macholin. In the Mishnah taught that's taught b'macholin. That it was made cholal. Shal Talmud Echad. This one Talmud asked, Migalo Elyon, from the Galo Elyon. Yes, Rabbi Eliezer, Shemati Shecholken Bein Tabas L'Tabas. That there's a difference between this ring and the other. Amar Lo, he answered him back, Shema Lo Shemas, Elul Inyan Shabbos. That's only by Shabbos. Elul Inyan Tuma, Davida Chadahi. That it's all one thing. U'inyan tumah da achasi. Really, that by tumah it's one thing. Vasna we have a Mishnah. Tabas adam tumah v'tabas behema v'kelim v'shar kol tabas taharos. Just like we said before, that the ring of a person and is tahor, but of a behema and kalim and all other rings, is tameh, and a behema and all other animals and kalim is tahor. Kik amrle. When do we say this? Ihu nami the adam kamer. We say this by a person. The adam davida achas hi. By a person, it's one din. Vatanya we have brisa tabas. Shesheskina lachagor bo masna v'lakasher bo bein kasaf of ta'ara, that a ring that's made to tie a belt on or a tie between your shoulders is tahor. V'lo amru tuma ela shel etzba bilvad. It's only tama if it's for your finger. Kik amrle ihu nami the etzba amrle. Now when do we say this? We say this by your finger. But the etzba davida achasi, by your finger it's one din. Really? Vasnan that tabas shel mateches v'chos mishel almog tamehi. They have a ring that's metal and a stamp that is of coral wood. Tama, it's tamahi. That tamahi that sha'amag v'chasma shamateches. If it's made of coral wood and the seal is of mateches tahar, then it's tahar. Ki ka'amar le ihu nami kula shamateches ka'amar. That the whole thing is metal. Ka'amar le v'od sha'al shemati that I heard shacholkin ben machat lemachat. There's a difference between one needle and the other. Amar le, so he answered him back, Shema lo shamas. Maybe you didn't hear this. El inyan Shabbos, was it by Shabbos? Te'ila inyan tama davida achasi. By tama, it's all one thing. But inyan tama davida achasi, you say it's all one thing by tama. Now we have a Mishnah that machat shenitol choyra o uksa tahora. Says the Gemara, that if you have a needle where a hole or a point is missing, it's tahor. Kik amrle, when do we say this? Bishlima, when it's complete. Ubishlima davida achasi, if it's complete, it's all one thing. That's not machat also haluda, a ring that it went up in it. Achuda akavesa tafira tahora. The needle that became rusty, if the rust prevents sewing, it's tahor. V'im lav tameh, if not, it's tameh. The Amri debei Rav Yanai, says that in the house of Rav Yanai. V'hu shirishuma nicker. There's only tameh if the end can be used for writing. Kik amar le b'shifak amar. When do we say this? If the rust leaves a mark on that which is sewn. Ub'shifa davida achasi. You want to say that if it's sewn, it's one thing. V'tanya b'braysa machat bein nekuva bein ein nekuva. That needle, whether it has a hole or not, mutter l'taltal b'Shabbos. You can move it on Shabbos. V'lo amrina nekuva el inyan tama. We only talk about the hole inyan tuma vovad. That ha shehi keshurabo. Sorry, that ha targama abaya aliyu derabba v'glimi. That Abaya says that we're only talking about needles that are unfinished. Says the Mishnah Vayter, Hamor yotze b'mar das bizman shi kashura bo. A donkey can go out with a saddle that zacharin yotzim luvavim. Rams can go out with luvavim. Rachelos yotzes shachuzos. And female sheep can go out with shachuzos. The koivlos, the kebanos ha'izim yotzes swaros. Kuvlos and kuvnos can go out with the kuvlos and kuvnos. Ha'izim yotzes suros, that goats can go out with their udders tied. Rav Yossi aser b'kulam chutz mirachelim hakuvnois, that he asks everything except the rams of kuvnos. Rav Yossi Omar izim yosim suros liyavish of lo l'chalav. Rav Yehuda says that a goat can go out with its udders tied to dry it up, but not to save its milk. And that concludes our shir on Nun Beis Amid Beis. We'll pick up with our next shir with Siyata Shmaya on Nun Gimel Amid Aleph.